Nobody ever wants to, you're all happy to complain about the countdown, but nobody else ever wants to do it.
It's because it's like your thing.
It's like, yeah.
I'm not rolling up to recording wearing a headband because that's your thing. You're not sitting there drinking water because that's Ben's thing.
Right. Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey, Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Hi, Ben.
It sounds like the ocean for somebody.
Yeah, that's me, and I'm not sure why.
Are you at the ocean?
I think it might be my ceiling fan.
Only Hannah is near the ocean.
I'm kind of close to the ocean.
That was a callback from one of our episodes. I don't know.
I'm so sorry for missing it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Erin, very quickly, I know you have a lot of upfront stuff. I want to tell you that we bought the Trader Joe's shishito peppers.
Oh!
And they were really good.
That's great. You said Ian got a spicy one?
Yeah, he got a really spicy one. He was like running around. He was like trying to find milk and bread and stuff.
That's great.
It's really funny.
We've had so many. Like we've had buckets and buckets and buckets of them, and they've been so delicious. But we haven't had a spicy one. I had one that was like, maybe that's a little spicy, but I don't know if it's like just too early or maybe just our plants aren't feeling like producing spicy ones, but I think it's probably early. But that's great. I'm glad you got to try them. Did you enjoyed them?
Loved them.
Awesome.
See, what you do is that you just heat up some oil in a pan. No, but we made them like everyone does, and they were really, really good. And then, the other funny thing though was, as Ian was going around like trying to find milk and bread and stuff, I like looked over at him and I got like a bemused twinkle in my eye, and then I picked up my phone and he immediately ran over and tried to grab my phone away from me because he knew I was going on Slack to tell you guys.
That's so great.
But I knew you'd understand.
Yeah. What are you drinking, you freaks?
Oh. I'm drinking Canada Dry Peach Mango Seltzer.
Oh, wow, what?
Wait, what? You really tricked me there.
Oh, man.
By starting with a ginger ale brand. I didn't know Canada Dry made anything but ginger ale.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Do they make tonics?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a well-rounded brand, just because you only know them for one thing.
Wow.
Fuck,
okay, Canada.
Sorry.
I don't know if they're actually made in Canada. But
Peach mango. That sounds really good.
It's really good. I'm wishing I brought a second one in. I was thinking about maybe having my resident fact checker grab me one that I could grab. See if I can get him to do that. What are you drinking, Erin?
I'm drinking a mandarin seltzer from the Not Long for This World Kroger. Very sad. Very sad.
Aww.
I've been stockpiling seltzers, and I'm drinking a little bit of some rosé here.
Oh, I thought that was like a hard liquor of some kind.
Nay, it is a soft wine of some kind.
Erin's drinking it out of like the type of glass. I don't know what it's called, but
it's a highball glass.
Ah, there you go.
I love highball glasses, and I often drink wine out of them, because why the fuck not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Fuck society's rules.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ben, are you drinking water?
Yes.
That's so great.
Thank you. Do you guys want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah.
I think I'm like 90% sure that this fact is true. It's something that I've observed, and I noticed especially at Disney, but I'll have to verify, and hopefully I'll try to verify it later, but I am pretty certain that Coca-Cola, the company, does not own a ginger ale brand.
Oh.
And I noticed it at Disney because they're like very exclusively Coke, like a Coca-Cola place, and you couldn't get ginger ale anywhere.
Interesting. You know, I had at the Coca-Cola, it's funny you mentioned that. I went to the Coca-Cola factory or whatever in Atlanta one time, and I had a ginger beer there that was extremely spicy, but it was maybe from some other, maybe they have it in some other country.
Motherfucker.
What's going on, Hannah?
He came in and handed me an empty can of seltzer. But then he had a full one in his pocket.
Sounds like it was an empty can of air.
Yeah, one time we bought seltzers and one of them was empty. Was I with you, Erin, when that happened?
It sounds really familiar.
I think we might have been together. We bought. There was one in the in the box that had broken.
Yeah, we were together.
When did that happen?
Wait, you guys!
Probably
I
Thanksgiving.
have a fun fact. I have an addendum to my fun fact.
You're so full of fun facts today.
I was trying to verify it, and so I looked up the two ginger ale brands that I know, which are Canada Dry and Schweppes. And Canada Dry is owned by the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group.
Oh, Snapple.
And Schweppes is distributed in America by the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group. Dr. Pepper Snapper Group. It's the same company in America, but abroad, Schweppes is distributed by Coca-Cola.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper Snapper. That's it.
Great fact.
Thanks.
Even better misspeak. I do that sometimes. I used to not be able to say my R's when I was a kid, and sometimes if I'm tired or angry, I'll slip. Maybe I said that. I have said that on pod before. Dr. Pebbles.
I have an important question for everybody.
Okay, important answer.
Okay. Did you see Janelle Monáe's latest fashion statement?
That is... Oh, yeah.
No,
yes.
I didn't.
Yes, I have a Janelle Monáe upfront thing, but that's not it. But yes, I did, and it's amazing.
Oh my god. Okay, it's her dress from the BET Awards. And
her performance at the BET Awards was also amazing.
Okay, I didn't see anything
Whoa.
from the BET Awards. But this dress, everybody listening, go look it up.
That's
but it's
so good.
Yeah, it's like a dark green corset on the top, and obviously a really cool jaunty hat, because when does she not have that? Right.
Really
and
cool
then
jaunty hat.
and then there's a long floor length huge poofy rainbow skirt covered in ruffles, and it's so good.
From afar, it looked like it's made of yarn.
It's so good.
I
love it.
I was going to ask y'all if you have seen the preview for her new movie.
What?
It has Steve Carell in it. It was on her Insta, I think. It has Steve Carell in it and some other people. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but I know that it's a half live action, half kind of animation, where she's a doll, and they killed Nazis. Those are the facts that I know. You'll have to.
All right.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm already there.
You're present.
Yeah.
And accounted for.
Exactly.
Yeah, this looks good from the non-audible preview I'm watching right now. I think I'll see this. When's it come out?
I think in December.
It's called Welcome to Marwen. Marwen.
It looks really cute and really badass.
And yeah, and Steve Carell's nice too.
Yeah, he's nice.
Cool.
I have a couple of other upfront things.
Go for it.
In 2 episodes ago, Hannah, we were talking about Queer Eye, and I had not yet watched the second episode. and you were like, let me know if that guy reminds you of anyone.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remembered that the other day, and nothing came to mind. So I was wondering who you thought of.
Can you remind me who the second guy is?
He was the guy who started out with his, like, t-shirt tucked into his shorts, and he was like, I thought when I wear a belt...
He's like,
that was a good one. I liked him.
He's like a manager at Walmart. And
that was sweet.
And it ended with a proposal.
Oh, yeah, that was a really sweet one.
I cried a ton.
Sweet. Yeah, it was so sweet.
Not as much as the first one, but I cried a bunch. Ian and I both thought that he reminded us a lot of Ian.
Okay, so, yes, I wasn't going to say it unless you said it, but yeah, that was the only person I thought of.
You just lied to me.
Well, I'm not going to be like, one of the guys who, like, needed a makeover reminded me of your husband. Like, I'm not, like, not it.
Why didn't you ask me that?
Well, because you had already seen it when we watched it, so we couldn't talk about it. I should have asked you before I gave it away, though. I should have asked you to weigh in. But no, it was his mannerisms. Like, he talked with his hands a lot, which is something that Ian does, and also, like, especially at the beginning, you could see him, like, he was very uncomfortable with. They also had a very small house trailer thing, so it was like hard for anybody to, like, feel like they had enough personal space. But he was, like, pushing himself into corners to, like, just, like, not be in the way, which is something that Ian and I both actually really related to. And then he had, like, a cute, chubby girlfriend, so it was just, like, all of that.
He had sweet, like, he was, like, sweet and tender. I loved him. And I thought he was for me the, like, most made over. Like, when they did his makeover,
yeah,
I was
it was like unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable. Looked so good.
And they didn't even take his beard all the way off, right? They just, like, trimmed it down, or did they shave him?
I think they shaved him.
They shaved him entirely.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't know just his face, but I don't.
They shaved him bare.
I can't speak to that, but they did shave his face bare, yes.
He looked great. It's just, like,
he did.
Just that awkward nature. It wasn't so much, like, the wild man look, or, like, Ian doesn't, like, tuck his shirts into his shorts necessarily.
No.
He should, though, if he's wearing a belt.
Right. I loved this season, and I just don't know why. Like, they always are posting on Instagram how they miss each other, how they miss the loft, and I'm like, why don't they just make a continuous stream of Queer Eyes? No one would be sad.
Win.
Yeah, everybody's happy. They get to be together. God knows there are tons of people who need makeovers. The other day, we had watched, like, maybe 2 at night, and the next morning I was getting ready, and I realized the whole time I was getting ready I had, like, the Fab Five voices in my head. I was like, it was like daily affirmations, but, like, the Fab Five. I was like, I think Jonathan would really like my hair, and then I was like, I think Tan would really like my shirt, and I was just, like, imagining what they might say, like what Jonathan might say about my hair and about my, like, little gray hairs, and that he might call them, like, sparkles, or, just, like, I was like, these are such great people.
That is so amazing. I hope somehow they end up hearing that and know that they're, like, making a positive impact on people just by being positive in the world. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah. It was definitely nice. I definitely didn't realize it until after I'd gotten ready. I was like, well, I feel great today.
We went out for dinner the other night at this little Thai place, and there was a high school girl eating dinner with her parents, and I think that's the relationship. I don't know. But she spent, like, the entire dinner telling them everything about the Fab Five and, like, what was great about them, and like, some anecdotes from different episodes and things like that. And, like, Ian and I just, like, didn't talk the whole dinner because we were just sitting there listening to it. It was so fun. I love eavesdropping.
Even Anthony kind of grew on me towards the end.
I think he's sweet. I was like trying to, because I finished the season after our last recording, and I was like trying to get in your head space about Anthony, and like I definitely could see it sometimes, but like I do feel like his heart is like really in the right place.
Yeah, I think so.
And I still really like I react positively to him still.
Yeah, I've come around. I love them all.
They're all great.
They're good boys.
They're good boys. Okay, I've got another thing. Okay, this is really funny. So, I follow... Oh, fuck. Janelle Shane? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Who's that?
The AI... machine
AI
learning
weirdness.
Person? Yeah.
Like, we had that episode where Ian talked about that, the... What is it, Hannah?
Yeah, she tries to teach a neural net to do... generate different things.
So she often on Twitter is communicating with this visual chatbot, and it's a like I guess an AI thing capable of answering sequence of questions about images. So you can go to this site and like upload an image and talk to this bot about it. So I did, and what happened was so. I enter this chat and it says, "Hi, I'm a visual chatbot capable of answering a sequence of questions about images. Please upload an image and fire away." And I said, "Hello there." And visual chatbot said, "I think you forgot to upload an image. Please upload an image to continue." So I took a screenshot of that initial conversation and uploaded that. And visual chatbot said, "Please wait for a few seconds while a caption is being generated for the uploaded image." And then it said, "Caption," and then capital letters, "Unk, unk, 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 unk." And I said, "What is an unk?" Or I said, what is a unk? Because it had said, unk. And chatbot says, "Some kind of," capital letters, "unk, unk." And I said, "Shouldn't it be an unk?" And visual chatbot says, "No."
Oh my god.
And then I said, "Can you define what an unk is?" And visual chatbot said, "Yes." And I said, "What is a unk?" And it just said, capital letters, "Unk." I got the hint and stopped talking to it.
Did you screenshot this or anything?
Yeah. Not that last part, but I screenshotted the first two ones.
Where?
On my phone, you frick.
You didn't like tweet it?
No.
You should have tweeted at Janelle Shane, and also I want to see it.
Yeah, well, I'll do it now, but I wanted to do it on pod.
Oh, okay. You wanted to give us the scoop.
Yeah, I wanted to get your fresh reaction, you frick.
That's very funny.
Unk.
I like unk.
Should it be an unk?
No.
So you only have the first part?
I have shouldn't it be an unk? No. I don't have that last part.
What
was
was happening there?
Was this some kind of unk? Was that the other thing it said?
Yeah. It was so it was unk. And I said, "What is unk?" Some kind of unk. I'm wondering if it's for unknown between you and me.
Is it UNK?
Yeah, UNK.
Oh, I thought it was UNC this whole time.
No. So I'm wondering if it was like unknown or something, but it's really funny. I'll send it to her.
Because if it was unknown, then it should be like, it means unknown.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was very amusing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that would be if someone asked you to define unknown and you were a stupid bot, you would probably say it means unknown.
Yeah.
If only word it knows is unk.
It means
Say that.
unk.
Some kind of
Some
unknown
kind
unknown.
of unk. Shouldn't it be an unk? No.
No. Look, no.
Listen, a lot of people ask me that, and I have to tell you. The answer is no.
I've run the numbers on this.
I don't need to explain myself to you, mortal human. No.
I'm made of algorithms. What are you made of?
Yeah.
Carbon.
Laughable.
Unk, unk.
Unk.
That's how it laughs. It's just laughing at you.
Me and my robot friends laugh at you. Unk, 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 unk.
Oh, that was really good.
Speaking of AI, I've also finished my Westworld rewatch. And
So-
have begun season 2.
Hashtag haven't even started season 2.
What? Okay.
It just ended this past week, so
Okay. All right. Listen.
Oh, bless you.
I really
my
hit.
goodness.
I hit the mute button, but I missed.
You guys need to catch up because I have thoughts.
We need to catch up.
But you know how this goes.
That was
You know
great.
the drill, Hannah. By the time we finish Westworld season 2, you're not going to remember shit.
Yeah, remember when we
true.
tried to talk about Westworld? That was a fucking
all-
train wreck.
Oh my god, when I was rewatching it, I was like, I remember all of this, but like couldn't fucking remember it when you wanted to talk about it. I was like, who is that? What happened?
Who's Bernard?
Are these
Yeah.
robots? Is this real life?
Is this about robots?
Is this
a
music?
documentary?
I was about to say that. I've already forgotten most of it, honestly. That's why I'm so
Yeah.
mad at you guys.
Sorry.
I wanted to also say that I finished. We just finished watching the second season of The Expanse. I think. Ian, the third season of The Expanse.
Oh my god. Ian!
He chose me. I can't.
Honey!
I can't. You know, he chose me. So
You can't handle me.
Don't choose me.
I've always been like this. And it was extremely good, and everyone should be watching The Expanse.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
I
you.
fucking forgot about it.
That's
tell me
not
what
a
to
dig
do.
at you guys. I'm just saying it's extremely
That's a
good.
dig at me. Fuck you, I'm mad.
Everyone should be watching Animorphs. If it were up to me.
Yeah. I did finish watching The Staircase also, and I have an opinion now, because I also watched some other things.
Do you also land firmly in one camp like I do by the end?
Yes. I'll tell you why if we're okay with spoilers. Erin.
We can do spoilers or cut this out, but I do want to know where you guys fall.
Okay.
Okay.
Do
You want to say it at the same time on the count of 3?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we saying?
We're going to say guilty or not guilty.
Okay. Should we say guilty or not proven?
We should say guilty or innocent, I think.
Oh.
Because
Wow,
You ready? Are you ready?
Is that what not guilty means, though?
No,
not-
but I'm saying well,
Okay,
I've given
okay.
it away now, I think. But on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
3.
Innocent. Oh,
Really?
Really? Why?
Wow.
Wow. I really thought you thought he was guilty after
No, what
last
the
week.
fuck? Why?
Okay, when they discovered the blowpoke in the basement or whatever.
Yeah.
And they went to these great lengths to make sure that they photographed the dust, and they put it in that dumb tube thing and like all this stuff to preserve it. He was like not excited about it. He was like, I'm just really nervous that this could be this way. Well,
Well, it was way too late. I think he was disappointed because it was far too late to include it in the trial. It was like 3 days before closing.
I think he was nervous. I just think he was nervous.
Also, they found nothing on it.
Yeah, but he seemed like relieved about that, like he could barely even believe it. And then also,
What?
I watched
You're
a couple
projecting.
of other
Objection,
like,
Your Honor.
I watched a couple of other true crime things afterwards because I had heard mention of how biased the staircase is, and actually, like, if you think about, like, he was paying them, he was the whole, like, reason they were there, basically, and they weren't even allowed access to like most of the people on the other side of the trial. Mm-hmm. So it was totally not a fair and balanced representation of what was going on, and there was a fair amount of the evidence in the movie that wasn't in the trial that wasn't mentioned in the movie, although I don't know details about that. But even after the whole Deaver thing, I watched this other show that I watched 2 other shows. They were like crime shows. One of them actually came out before they found out about Deaver, and he was in it, and I was like, oh, this fucker. Like, I still think he's a fucker. He's a total fucker. And during the trial, I was like, these tests look stupid.
Yeah, right.
And, they had this expert on from Italy who had analyzed a few things, including like the blood splatter at the crime scene and the 911 call. And she had like some analysis on the 911 call, which like I'm willing to disregard because, again, like when people are like in crisis, I just don't know that it's, I don't know if I believe in that type of science that you can really like, right. But like, we had talked about how confusing the scene was, and she laid out the most plausible thing that I had heard, which was he bashed her head on the stairs with his bare hands, and that's how the blood splatter didn't go like way up, because there was not a weapon involved. And then he left because he thought that she was dead, but she wasn't. And apparently there were also like blood drops on the outside the house, and you know how she had like blood on her feet. So like she was saying like after he thought that she was already dead, like she got up and he ended up having to kill her again, which is why there was like 2 layers of blood at the scene.
I feel like that doesn't explain the like I feel like her skull would be fractured if he was like actively beating her head against stairs.
That's fair. It's a really confusing crime scene.
Yeah, it is. So we disagree on guilty versus innocent, but how do you feel about, like, do you think that in the original trial, the prosecution did a good enough job of proving it beyond a reasonable doubt? Like, if you were a jury member, I guess we didn't see the whole trial, but like, I felt like regardless of whether you thought he was guilty or innocent, I don't think that it was. I think there was definitely reasonable doubt, and even that the judge at the end said, "I would have had reasonable doubt myself."
Yes, he did. He did say that, and he said he wouldn't have let in some part of the evidence that
the Germany thing that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think a lot of the witnesses were. I think a lot of the Germany witnesses were like kind of fucked up, and I also think that. What's his face? Rudolph did a really good job poking holes in a lot of the stuff that.
Yes.
Like
he was great. I really liked him a lot.
I think he was really great, but that's part of why I tried to examine my convictions about it and my biases really hard, because I think he was the better lawyer, and they were like kind of like biased and prejudicial about the fact that he like had gay lovers. That's the other thing.
That was so shitty.
The fact that he was like,
assistant
well,
DA.
we never talked about it, but she knew. Like,
that actually bothered me a bit, but because it sounded like earlier in the documentary, he was saying that they were open about it, and like, I got the impression they had discussed it and was like, wow, that's actually surprisingly healthy. For a marriage. And then at the end, that is something that gave me pause, for sure. And that was
after he had like pled out and knew that he was going to be free.
Yes.
He finally talked openly about that at all.
And said
and said that they hadn't talked about it. And that was kind of like what solidified my feelings on it, was like, I totally think that a marriage like that can work, but I don't think that it can work without like clear communication and boundaries. And I think that she would have had... And the way he talked about the shame that he felt about his like bisexuality through his whole life, like he still had a lot of things that he had not worked out there, and he certainly hadn't worked through them with her. And so, like, I can see how that could have ended up becoming a motive for, like, a crime of passion like that. But the way that they handled it in the case was nasty.
Yeah, the Frida Black.
Yeah, she was awful.
He is a homosexual.
Yeah.
Like it was a fucking... Ugh.
Does that make common sense to you? Oh, she's bad. I didn't like her hair or her voice.
Or her bright blue fucking suits.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
So mean. She's mean. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's funny because based on the last time we talked about it, I would have guessed the opposite for you too.
I was
just based on our convo.
Yeah. I was like definitely totally undecided. I was just starting to lean towards guilty, but I hadn't gotten there yet. But I did watch some of the follow-up stuff or some of the other shows because I really don't think that The Staircase gives a balanced view.
Speaking of true crime shows, did you hear about is it Brandon Dassey? That's the name of the kid from Making a Murderer, right?
Yeah.
You hear about how the Supreme Court denied to taking his case, his appeal?
No.
Yeah, his case had gotten all the way up to through the appellate courts to the Supreme Court, but they denied reviewing it.
Well, that sucks, but I can't talk about the Supreme Court right now or I might cry. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, we've been going for a half hour. Do you guys think we should get into it?
Let's get into it.
Well, it's Erin's first, right?
No, I'm second.
Fuck. What?
Wait.
Really? No, Erin? I was first last week, though, right?
Yeah. So the first shall become last, so I'm the first.
And I'm second.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Erin went after me usually.
No, it's a push and a pop, man. I just don't know how else to explain it.
So, okay, so I'm first.
Yes.
And I want to play a game with you guys.
Wow, this is so exciting.
Yeah. Okay, this game is called HYPERtheticals. 50 questions for insane conversations
50?
by Chuck Klosterman. We're not going to play 50
Let's
questions.
do all 50.
Yeah, let's do it. All-nighter.
They're just like really
12-hour episode.
Hyper episode.
This is the thing I was saying that I stole from Threedom because this was one of the features that they did on there. They did like 2 or 3 questions. We'll see how many we can get through.
Cool.
So I ordered this, and it's basically just a bunch of like really intense sort of discussion prompting questions.
This is so good for us.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good.
Because we never talk. We never have anything to talk about.
I want to find a good one.
Please do.
Yeah, please take this time to prepare a question and not find one ahead of time.
Well, actually, there was one that I really wanted, but I gotta find it.
She got you, Hannah.
I'm fucking burnt.
You got me.
You burnt.
You totally got me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, while Hannah's just giving us dead air, I'm going to make an announcement.
Oh, yeah, announcement.
I tweeted something today that was 4 pictures of Como. He's been doing this thing lately where he sleeps with his tongue out.
Oh,
and it's just about the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole life, and I want everyone to go look at it.
I'm going to look at it right now.
So I'm gonna pre-plug my Instagram, my Twitter. Disco Greg for the Como with his tongue out.
Speaking of Instagram, pictures. Are we going to save that announcement for the end?
Oh, that we have an Instagram now?
Mm-hmm.
I guess not.
No, you can cut this out.
No.
Be like, yes,
this has to stay.
Let's
We do have an Instagram now. It's way too broad. All right. Okay.
Oh, look at him just sleeping with his baby tongue out.
He's been doing it so much lately. I love it.
He's poking his little baby tongue out. Okay, let's do it, Hannah.
Okay, this question is called
Well,
the
that
Meteor.
didn't take long enough. I think you should consider it for longer.
Okay. This is called the meteor. This is one that they did on the show, Ben, so you might recognize this. Earth is about to be struck by a mammoth meteor. Though no one knows exactly what will happen, most scientists assume life on Earth will be totally altered and potentially eliminated. Everyone on the planet is freaking out. Suddenly you receive a bizarre email. The government demands that you must fly to Washington, D.C. immediately by order of the president. The email message includes a first-class plane ticket. Once you arrive at Dulles Airport, military police confiscate your cell phone and wordlessly transport you to a secret hangar that houses 10 massive space shuttles. You are escorted onto one of the ships. Not counting the crew, there are 24 equally confused people waiting on board. You recognize a few of these people instantly. Bill Gates, this is a little old, the musician Prince, and Oprah Winfrey. When the individuals you don't recognize begin talking and interacting with one another, it becomes clear that all of them are brilliant scientists, consequential artists, or extremely wealthy political figures. The ship's captain informs all of the passengers that the space shuttle will be leaving Earth in 2 hours. He does not say where it's going, although he does insist that anyone who wants to remain on Earth is free to stay behind. You are 90% certain that you've been selected for this trip by mistake. Do you remain on board? And if you do, how will you explain your presence to the other 24 passengers? You have no idea if admitting your true identity will disqualify you from traveling.
Okay. What the fuck? Like, does anybody choose to stay? My answer's really easy. Fuck Trump. I never flew. I never got on that plane in the first place. I stayed my ass home.
You would probably die.
Great. Fuck Trump. I'm staying home with my loved ones, and we're dying via meteor. I'm not, like, flying rando into space.
Yeah, especially because no one knows if it's actually going to kill everything. It could just turn into a post-apocalyptic hellscape.
Post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic.
Dr. Pebble.
Dr. Pebble Snapper Group.
Dr. Pebble.
The post-apocalyptic Dr. Pebble Snapper. Yeah, I'm staying. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'd like go. I think I'd probably go to the shuttle just to see what was up. Like, why? I mean, it's a first class plane ticket, I guess.
First class baby.
First class baby, exactly. Hannah gets it. And then I think I'd be
during like a time of terror.
Have you guys ever flown first class? It's really nice.
It's really nice, but like everyone knows about this meteor, and nobody's gonna be like doing their job well.
Also, there's just a zombie situation because we got Prince on board.
Ooh.
So I don't want to be on a plane or on a shuttle in space with a zombie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well spotted.
Ship those zombies out of the Earth, off of the Earth, into the Earth, to the core. Burn them up.
Prince is already in space. He's like already there.
Maybe Prince just faked his death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but I'm leaning. I think Zombo's more likely.
Yeah.
Zamboni, pardon me.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck that. Stay on Earth.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is that, like, that one, they try to account for a lot of things in these questions, but this sort of came up on Freedom too. They don't account for the idea that you would ask, can I bring my loved one?
Right, yeah.
Or loved ones, which a lot of us would, I think.
Yeah, does Oprah have Gail?
I'm certainly not going to leave Molly behind and be like, peace out.
What's her fucking... Doesn't her husband have a weird name?
Can I bring my cats?
Force Winds.
Stedman.
Stedman, that's right. Yeah. What the fuck kind of a name is that?
I liked my answer better.
What did you say?
Forced Winds.
Forced Winds?
Force Winds.
Stedman Graham.
Gale Force Winds.
I like that.
All right. This one's called The Price of Sex Appeal.
Hell yeah.
I haven't read...
It's free for Ben. It sounded like a burn. That was a cold. That was a compliment.
Okay. You meet a wizard in downtown Chicago.
You're a wizard.
Oh,
I don't know. The wizard tells you he can make you more attractive if you pay him money. When you ask how this process works, the wizard points to a random person on the street. You look at this random stranger. The wizard says, I will now make him $1 more attractive. He waves his magic wand. Ostensibly, this person does not change at all. As far as you can tell, nothing is different. But somehow, this person is suddenly a little more appealing. The tangible difference is invisible to the naked eye, but you can't deny that this person is vaguely sexier. This wizard has a weird rule, though. You can only pay him once. You can't keep giving him money until you're satisfied. You can only pay him one lump sum up front. Sorry about that reading. How much cash do you give the wizard?
Is there, like, a too much sex appeal where you're, like, regretful?
I feel like there's a movie where someone gets, like, too sexy and then everybody's chasing them all the time.
That's a song. It's by Right Said Fred.
And they, like, can't keep their
Can't wear a shirt.
I paid the wizard too much for my shirt.
Probably, right? Because if you're too sexy, I mean, because like it's like how like attractive people complain about how they're not taken seriously enough or whatever. Like people just think that they got where they are because they're so sexy.
Right.
I'd probably give him like $20.
Wow.
Like if $1 made a difference.
Yeah.
Like $20, not too much. Yeah, like just look a little better all the time. Sure, whatever.
If $1 made like a difference that I could feel in a person, I feel like $20 would be a lot.
Maybe, but
he like just hit the ATM. He doesn't have single bills. He's like, oh, we got 20.
Does he? Can the wizard give us change?
It's like a cash transaction. You're like, can I Venmo you? He's like, no, bro. It's like now or never. And Ben's like, okay, here goes nothing.
I give him like $5,000. I don't know. I want to be the sexiest person alive.
All right, I have an answer.
Okay.
I've considered this. My initial reaction was immediately Jonathan Van Ness popped into my head and was like, honey, you are perfect. Like, you're killing it. You're confident. You're gorgeous.
Right.
So that was my initial. But then I thought, and then I thought, like, oh, I could stand to be like $20. That sounds good. More attractive. But, like, right now, I kind of have this, like, lesbian thing going where I'm like attractive to all the people I want to be attracted to me,
yeah,
but not like attracted to men at all, and that's awesome. So I would worry about tipping into being attractive to men and then getting street harassed. So I'm gonna stick with $0.
Okay.
Final answer.
All right.
Unless I could be like, can I put some like caveats? And it's like, who am I gonna be more attractive to? If you could like guarantee me it was gonna like stay in my zone, then I might throw some money towards it.
I think I'll stick with my 20 answer.
Okay. I don't know. I probably give him like $5.
Yeah, girl.
Just 5.
Yeah, girl.
All right. So one more. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do one called The Brain Pill, or do you want to do one called Stereotypical Jesus?
Oh,
stereotypical. I feel like I lean the Jesus one more so because I have less of an idea of what it could be based on the title.
Okay, actually,
but I'd be fine with either.
Change my mind. I'm reading you this one because I think it's really interesting. Okay.
Okay. Thanks for considering us.
Wow, she's choosing neither.
Yeah, option C, neither. So. This one's called Mystical Clay. I'm actually fascinated to see what you guys will think of this one. Okay. A major earthquake occurs in California. Ben. After the damage...
You said that like it was my
fault. After the damage is assessed, workers discover a strange type of clay that was exposed by the fault line. Immediately, certain workers report a bizarre sensation. Merely touching the clay gives them a euphoric, almost sexual sense of well-being. Listen.
I love my sexual sense of well-being.
They only need to touch it once to feel great forever. Okay. Soon, thousands of people begin flocking to the clay to experience it. About 1 in 4 people feel the euphoric effect, regardless of gender, age, or nationality. The rest of the populace, so 3 out of 4, feel nothing at all. Scientists who studied the atomic structure of the clay realized this substance could also serve as the cleanest, most completely efficient fuel ever discovered. 1 pound of clay could power all of Los Angeles for 10 years. However, those who have been personally and spiritually affected by the clay implore the government not to pursue this avenue. They insist that using the clay as energy will destroy mankind's ability to feel joy. They cannot explain what this means, but they overwhelmingly and specifically suggest that this is literally what will happen. In fact, many of them claim they will attempt to overthrow the U.S. government if the clay is misused in any way whatsoever.
Wow.
You are in the second term of your tenure as President of the United States. The clay has no effect on you whatsoever. Would you support an initiative that allows 5% of the clay to be mined?
Okay, so we're in a position where we can, like, really make a difference in this one.
Yes.
That got a lot more interesting by the end. Because my first reaction was, like, mine it. Like, of course. But then there's, like, this whole...
It's hard.
Well, I feel like if they touch it, they're good forever. So you just let everyone touch it,
but
and
I
then
think,
mine it.
I feel like the implication is that this is, like, somehow... the reason that people touch it and feel so good is that this is, like, somehow linked to the source of joy for, like, the entire human population.
Right. Like, if you
which is why they're so worried about it being destroyed.
If you think about, like, the fact that it's been... Here's the thing. I think it comes down to whether or not you believe these people, because you're not one of them. You haven't felt this.
Yeah.
But like, I'm inclined to, because this has been underground for God knows how long, and like, you know, just because some people don't feel anything when they touch it, it doesn't mean it hasn't been, like, it's so powerful when you touch it. Like, doesn't mean it hasn't been, like, leaching joy up into the world, I don't know, for the whole time.
Interesting.
But then it's really hard because 5% of it would probably, like, power the world for quite a while. But then when that's gone, it's just going to mean that we need more of it.
I didn't think about the supernatural aspect of it. I assumed that they were under the influence somehow and just had this like,
well, and that
delusion.
Could be it too.
I don't think it has to be
it could be like a
supernatural.
shared. It could be like a shared delusion kind of thing for the people that all feel it.
Right, like a hallucination or some such.
I think it's like, do you believe them that this is like affecting everybody on some level, even though it's not directly affecting everyone when they touch it? Or do you just think they're placing too much importance in it? But then that's actually kind of a decent counterpoint that they never have to touch it again, because why would they be so protective of it?
Exactly.
You know, if they've already gotten their high off of it and they'll never come down.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes it, for me, like, if they had to keep replenishing it, I'd be much more sensitive to keeping it around. But 5% seems like a really good middle of the road. Like,
that's what I was thinking too.
Well, I was saying, like, to me that makes me more likely to believe them, to listen to them, because they don't have an ulterior motive to keep it around.
Do they want? Does it say that they don't want us to mine it at all, or just like to make sure we don't? If it's misused in any way, they will attempt to overthrow your government that you're in charge of right now. But how are they defining misuse? Like, mining any of it at all is misuse in their eyes?
Yeah, because using the clay as energy will destroy mankind's ability to feel joy.
Man, that's a little...
I feel like there's still a little ambiguity with this, because well,
there'd have to be.
When I first heard that, my thought was, you know, like, that what they meant by that was that if we use all of it, like if we just burn all of it.
But what if, like, 5% using 5% of it takes away 5% of the joy in mankind? Would that be acceptable to you?
I think that would be, to me, to power the entire, like, Earth for who knows how long,
but
cleanly.
Not forever.
Well, but if only a pound of it powers Los Angeles for 10 years, it would certainly be a very significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And amount of energy.
But your children and your children's children might have a might have to make some harder decisions
Well,
about how much joy they're willing to take out of the Earth.
But that would, like, right now, because fossil fuels are destroying the environment and we're running out of them, there's like this race for renewables, and one of the reasons renewables haven't been used in too widespread is they have a few technological issues that people are working to solve, but that takes time and investment. And so if we could like save a ton of money and have like it's almost like a I feel like it would be an effective stopping mechanism for fossil fuel usage and would give us the time to bring renewable technology to the point where when we do run out of that 5%, we'd be set to put renewables in motion and run the entire grid off renewable energy.
Oh, so you'd be prepared to make that decision even with these threats? And, you know, the 1 in 4 people, they could be anybody. So some of them, will be like kids. Some of them could be like in your government.
Well, and like, is it all of them are saying they'd overthrow the government, or is it like a small extremist group of them?
Many of them.
Many of them?
Mm-hmm. Can't negotiate with terrorists.
I think I'd risk it.
I think I'd want to understand where they were coming from better and maybe do some research into it.
I was about to say, I'd throw a huge team of scientists on it, like pump the brakes, like we're not making a decision, we got to see what we have on our hands here. Like, get some professional fucking opinions.
Right, and if there's no way to test this joy theory, like, I'd want to do some serious interviews, like, with people, these people, like, hooked up to things to talk about it, to see if their like, cognition was being affected.
Let's get some brain scans. Let's get some people who haven't touched it and, like, scan their brain while they touch it, like, see what's happening. Right, exactly. But
I feel like you could
Ben, you're
still
very
do that. I feel like you could still do that.
I think it would be a lot harder to do that if you were also fighting off a potential civil war.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it would be like it's 1 in 4 people that actually touch it, which is not 1 in 4 people in the country, and then on top of that, it's not even all of that group. So I don't think that's as significant as a threat as it's made to sound. Because there's still a huge percentage of the population that...
And how much money they have.
Yeah, but... Yeah, but, like, I don't know. I hate fossil fuels, so it's worth it to me.
So practical. All right, well, we should move on. So that's a game I got.
It's fun.
HYPERtheticals.
HYPERtheticals.
I like these questions a lot.
Yeah, those are fun.
That one's really good.
Yeah, that's
it's like
a good
still
one.
Got me thinking.
I'm going to keep reading them and see if I find another really good one, maybe I can bring it back and we can just do like one or something.
Cool.
On a day when we're like light on upfront stuff or something like that.
Cool.
When are we ever?
That's a good question. You can find it on Amazon. Erin.
Hey.
What's your obsession?
Well, this week I had so... First of all, it's like feast or famine. Mm-hmm. I had like 3 things I could have been obsessed about this week, but I will choose one of them. I am obsessed about a comedy special I watched this week, and I asked my fellow co-hosts to also watch it.
I watched it twice.
I watched it twice. Have you watched it, Hannah?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay,
once.
Cool.
Oh, only once?
Sorry.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I think the way I want to go is that I want us 3 to be able to talk about it like in depth, but I think I want there to be no spoilers, because I think a lot of it really comes with the not really knowing what you're in for.
Yeah.
But anyway, the comedy special, it's on Netflix. It's called Nanette, and it's by Hannah Gadsby, and it's really, really fucking good. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, Hannah, my internet has been slow, so since you were like not moving, I assumed it had frozen again.
No, I was taking a note because there's the thing I want to ask you guys about if it's not a spoiler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we could just talk about it and talk about like which parts we want to keep in, or if that's not too much editing trouble.
That's fine.
So,
excuse me.
Tell me what you guys thought about it.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I think it's the best. I hesitate to even call it a comedy special.
Yeah,
really, but if it was, I think it's the best one I've ever seen.
Yeah. I thought it was incredibly powerful. Like, I was kind of like on my phone a little bit the first time, and there's definitely a point where like I had like was holding my phone. I had like looked up from my phone, and I was kind of holding my phone and just like couldn't look away. And then like 15 minutes later realized I was like still holding my phone as if I was looking
I did
at it,
the
but, like,
same thing.
hadn't looked away.
And because for the first like 20 minutes, I honestly wasn't loving her delivery. Like it was funny, and she obviously is very good at what she does. But I found myself getting like a little bit bored. And then there's like a point in the middle where I like looked up and just never looked down again.
Yeah. I also like wanted to be like, just watch it, and then know that you were probably watching it being like, okay, well, what's all the fuss about?
Yeah.
Because like the comedy bit at the front, it's good, but
good.
it's not like Tig Notaro great.
Right.
It's not like so good, but then it rolls, and I think that her pace is really interesting. Like
the way she structures it also.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yes.
watching it the second time, I was like, holy shit, this is so well structured.
Yes.
It's like...
And I picked...
J.K. Rowling. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean?
Like, she built in things in like her first 3 books that didn't pay off until like book 6 or 7.
That's true.
That's the way I felt watching this. Was like, sometimes I was like, why is she talking about this? Like, this, I don't know if this is too much of a spoiler, but like she spends a long time in the first part talking about previous comedy specials that she's done and jokes that she had done before. And I was like, this is really, I mean, it's like very unusual to like describe your past jokes in a new show. I was like, why is she doing this? But
yeah, her bit about like not doing self-deprecating humor anymore.
Yeah, that was great.
That was so good. And at the time I was like, oh man, this is what all the fuss is about. But that was like,
that was
just
like
the beginning.
That was the look up from my phone moment.
Yeah.
I think because that was like the first kind of serious moment in the show.
Oh, it's so good. And just the way that just the pace of it, like her intensity is so good, and how she'll have it. And you're just like, you're on a tightrope, and then she'll tell you a joke, and then you're broken from it, but then she gets you right back again. Like,
and then when she talks about the structure, like how she's doing that on purpose, and then you notice it more.
I want to get back out of potential spoiler territory because I have a question for you guys that I might want to keep in.
So,
okay. Okay, so this line is from the back end, but I want to know what you guys think about it, and I think maybe we can talk about it without talking about spoilers too much. She repeats it. Hindsight is a gift. Stop wasting my time.
Yep.
I don't like, it's like, it was clearly like central to her like whole thesis, and I don't know if I understand it in context. Like, I don't know, like, maybe we can't talk about it without talking about spoilers.
was it in context of talking about like Pablo Picasso and how
it was that? I think it was also,
I think that was the second
the whole
time.
part about Picasso. That was amazing too.
that was amazing. Are any of those perspectives a woman? Like, oh, fuck. And like how, you know,
thank God we live in a post-cubism world.
that, you know what really helped me? Like she's just so on it. Like, she's so sharp. Like, we've talked about separating the art from the artist before on this pod, and we've been like, oh, I don't know. The way that her argument for it,
she definitely convinced me,
was so good. And just like, I wasn't on board until I was like totally on board.
Yeah, I was like, I have no counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. man, I'm gonna watch it a third time. I
really enjoyed watching it a second time, knowing what was going to happen, because I could appreciate even more the structure and like the flow of it, and I really paid attention the whole time the second time. So I recommend to anyone, watch it multiple times, definitely.
I think maybe I understand hindsight as a gift. This whole thing's going to be a nightmare to edit, but
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay, hang on a second. I got to scratch my ear.
Leave that in.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I got it at first either, but I think I kind of get it now.
Let's talk through it, because I feel like at one point I definitely, Hannah, that was the thing. Because there was something that I think I missed the first time through, and then I realized that she was repeating something from her art history bit. Or a quote of, like, you burn the woman, you burn the past she represents. Like, I think that took me, she repeats that line, and I had forgotten that was, like, the Picasso line.
And I got that. I think, but even when she said it the first time, which I think probably was in the Picasso section, I didn't understand what she meant.
Yeah. Let's talk through what we think that means.
I don't know. To me, it basically meant, like, can we please fucking learn from our mistakes as a society for once? And, like, because I think because she also said it when she was talking about, like, disgraced men now who have, like, been shown to be some kind of shitty, assaulters or whatever. And it's like, oh man, his movies were great, but in hindsight, he was actually abusing women this whole time, or he was actually, like, a child molester, when she talked about, like, Roman Polanski, and it's like, we should be learning, especially nowadays, that this is not an uncommon thing, and these are not, like she said, these people are not exceptions, they are the rule.
Right.
So, stop, like, wasting my time by...
Right.
Yeah, use the hindsight we've been given to, learn and become more aware of the world around us, basically.
Right. Which is, like, sort of what we're asked not to do about men in society. By not, like, just, like, giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't know. And that's always a struggle, to talk about. But, like, I think... The thing is that if you were looking for outward signs, like in almost all those situations, I think that they existed. Like I think the thing that I think I object to is, like, you get weird vibes off of certain men, and it's because they talk in a certain way and they look at you in a certain way and they do certain things. And, like, you're asked to ignore all of those things because, like, it's not fair to judge them on, like, vibes that you're getting from them. But, you have the hindsight to say, like, these creepy, it's not, like, unusual for these creepy vibes to turn into creepy actions.
Yep.
Or these rumors that you keep hearing about people to be true. Okay, I get it.
I think hindsight is a gift. Don't waste my time.
I think that we can keep that whole discussion in, by the way.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think we can keep that whole discussion in. I don't think that really had any spoilers in it.
Yeah.
That's just a good phrase.
That's a good phrase. And that whole thing where she, like, quits comedy, like, during...
Twice or 3 times, I think.
It's so good. It's so good. I saw somebody tweet at her and was like, Hannah Gadsby, you're allowed to quit comedy, but you're not allowed to stop talking into a microphone.
Yeah. Yep.
But this is, like, so this kind of comedy, I feel like, is exactly what we've been talking about. That, like, real, personal, raw, vulnerable comedy that we've been really loving and preferring.
It makes other, like, regular stand-up specials look so bad to me. Just because, like, they're so artificial.
Right.
And we know, and especially, like, we know now, we got kind of a peek into the comic's head in that special where it's like, everything's so meticulous and on purpose. There's nothing, like, the little awkward movements and everything, that's all on purpose. It's part of the show.
Right. Yep.
Even the humanizing stuff is, like, it's there on purpose to make you, like, oh, it was so good.
It was so good. So fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you have to edit this, Hannah.
It's okay.
Or you can keep it all in and just be like,
Big fat spoiler warning.
do not listen to this unless you have watched the show.
I wish I could find... I could have sworn I saw something where she actually wrote a book or did another special or something about how much she hates Picasso.
There's a book in the end shot of the special called Pablo Picasso. I don't know if it's an actual book, though.
It's probably not. Because it said it was by her, and I got really excited.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, man, that would be so cool.
I'm Googling it just in
That
case.
whole art history bit
It was really
also
good.
So
It was very funny.
Yeah.
I searched Pablo Picasso on Google.
Google?
Dr. Pibble.
And it didn't return any results. In fact, it just assumed that I had mistyped Pablo Picasso.
Fuck you, Google. You're complicit.
Fuck.
Hindsight is a gift. Don't waste my time. See? It's starting to make sense.
Because that's the thing, is like that kind of fucking attitude that she was talking about with the prime and everything. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you can tell by the way that certain people talk about women. You can tell what they think of them. You don't have to have proof to know what they think of women. So.
Right. But our society, our culture, like, has given those people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And now we're like,
and never
nah,
the women. Yeah.
don't waste my fucking time.
Yeah. Hindsight is a gift.
That's right.
I'm on board with it now.
No, I'm glad we talked through that because I think I was the most, like, uncertain about that part, too.
Yeah. But I get it.
It's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it was so good. Just, like, hands down the best hour of material I have ever seen from a person.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. Ben.
Yes.
Great segment, Erin. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you both for watching it first. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mine's relatively small, and I don't want to give any spoilers about it. So, and also I've been like also obsessed with Nanette with Nanette this week. But I also watched another show that Kylie watched first and recommended to me called Children of the Whales. And it's an anime on Netflix. And it's like so there's this island that's floating around in this giant sea of sand. It's basically a desert, but like you'll sink in the sand if you go out into it. So they call it like the ocean. They call it like the sea. And this giant island.
Which one, Ben?
They call it both, just like we do.
Okay,
this giant island they
me.
call. Excuse me.
It sounds kind of fishy.
I'm glad I paused for that.
Not the sand desert or sand sea, actually.
They call this giant island the mud whale.
Oh.
Okay.
Gross.
And there are two kinds of people that are born. Oh, there are also only like 500 people on this island, and they don't know anything about the world outside of the like sea of sand or the mud whale, really. They know that sometimes other floating islands show up, very rarely, and they usually like go and get supplies from them. But they know nothing else about anything, basically. And there are two kinds of people that are called marked or unmarked, and you're born as one or the other. Marked people have this ability to, it's called thymia. It's like this power that it like lets them, this sounds dumb, but it like lets them lift, it's basically like telepathy, like it lets them lift things with their mind. But it's like really useful because like when they go out on boats to go to like other islands and stuff, or to, I think they fish also, because they're like fish in this sea.
See? Told you.
Hannah knew that.
They lift the boats with thymia. That's how they make sure they don't sink.
I like
how
you're like,
people only live like 20 to 30 years. They die really young. And unmarked people and 90% of people born are marked. Did I say that already?
No.
I don't know if I did. But so there are only like 10% of people that are unmarked. that live much longer, and they're the leaders of the mud whale. Because like when you turn 61, you join the committee of elders, and they like lead everyone. And there's also a mayor, but they're kind of more of just a figurehead to like be an inspiring person for the people. And the main character is this guy named Chakuro, who is marked, but
That really startled me. That truly startled me. Do you want to tell the listeners what you just did?
Fess up, Hannah.
I was playing with fire. And then she waved in front of the camera.
She waggled the flame in front of the camera, and it startled me. I thought Hannah was on fire. You burnt. Okay, what were you saying, Ben?
The main character's name is Chakuro, and he's marked, but he's not really good at using Thamia, and he's kind of like appointed himself the recording secretary for the mud whale, because he doesn't like the fact that they don't know anything about the history of like how they got there, what the fuck's going on in the world. Like they don't know shit, and so his goal is to like write down basically everything that happens on the mud whale while he's alive, and so that people in the future will know like at least some of the history from like when he started living on. And
Smart.
yeah, he's a smart boy. I'm trying to think how much I can say without spoiling too much. I don't want to say like anything past what happens in the first episode.
I like how earlier you were like, it's kind of like telepathy, but it's really useful. Like, absolutely, you're like, it sounds stupid, but it's like telepathy. Like, absolutely everyone thinks telepathy is hella fucking cool and also would be extremely useful.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, all right, I'm going to try to talk you into this radical idea that's kind of lame. But how would you like to
lift things with your mind?
Sounds lame, right? Nope.
It's actually really cool and really useful.
I know you can't think of a single thing that you would do if you had telepathy, but these guys, they put it to work.
They've got things to do.
Oh, there's also this whole like other element where they're encouraged on the mud whale to not show emotion outwardly, and there are a lot of funerals because people die so young, and what they do is when they're feeling emotion, they like lock their fingers together, lock like their hands together, interlock their fingers, that's the fucking phrase, and then just like squeeze their hands instead of outwardly showing emotion. And you don't really know why that's the case. Like what, there's like this myth, the like mythical reason on the island is that if you show emotion, then the spirits from the sea will come out and take you with them sooner. Basically, that like you'll die sooner if you show emotion is like the mythos behind it. But you don't know really why that's so ingrained in everyone. So in the first episode, they find another island shows up. They find a mysterious girl on this island, which is basically their only connection that anyone's ever had to anything to do with the outside world. And trouble ensues.
Ooh.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, that sounds really interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's got a lot of interesting elements to it, and it's fucking wild. It gets crazy.
That sounds a little more interesting than telepathy.
Which I know you think sounds boring and not good. I know you're still not sold on that, but believe me.
I feel like I know what this show is inspired by. It was inspired by Weezer's Island in the Sun. We'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. Because now I have telepathy, and I'm lifting boats and shit.
It's only like, I think 12 episodes or 13 episodes, and there's no... It is new... Even in Japan, like the manga that it's based on is relatively new. The manga's still going, which probably means a second season will be coming eventually. But I don't know when, and I really want one, because it like definitely leaves off on a point where you're like, what the fuck's going on? I need I need more. I need to know more.
Every anime
about this.
does that. They're like drugs.
Yeah, they're good. Well, I mean...
Yeah, they're like drugs. They're good.
Actually, listen. I have this thing... I have this thing about anime where it, like, bothers me when people talk about it as one... Like, as if it's a genre.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not. It's a style of, like, of show. It's not... Like, there are a bunch of genres and the same genres that we have within anime. So... It bothers me just like when people say across the board they don't like or they like only like anime.
Right.
Either way it bothers me because it's like I like just like good shows. There are good shows that are anime. There are good shows that are not anime.
Right, but you
I
can't
only like live action.
You can't deny that every episode of every anime ends on a heart-stopping spoiler, and the season finales are even worse.
I can and will deny that, but
I mean,
we can talk about that later.
You can't, so I don't know where that leaves us.
Although I have been watching One Piece lately, which is it's a really, really famous anime, that's still going. It's like 800 fucking episodes long. It's still going.
Wow.
But every single episode ends to be continued. Like, it's like, obviously it will be, I don't know. It's like, when it's every single episode, it becomes really unnecessary to say to be continued. Honestly, it's necessary. It's unnecessary in like every series because like, fucking of course the story's gonna continue in the next episode. That's what this is.
That's true. Yeah. You're right. There's a lot of different kinds of anime. I'm not trying to paint them all with the same brush.
Just like there's a lot of different kinds of drugs.
Right, and they're all good.
Yeah. And they're all good. So you can't say that. There's that clay
message,
shit.
Is that they're good.
What's it called, Ben?
Children of the Whales. It's on Netflix.
You know, that reminds me of The Island of the Blue Dolphins.
That's a great book.
It's a great book. Doesn't have anything to do with the plot. It's just...
No, it doesn't, but it's a great book.
Maybe I'll audible it.
It's a good...
It's good.
That's an update, is that if our listeners recall from long ago, I had not canceled my Audible subscription. Well, joke's on you. It turns out slow and steady wins the race, because now I have a freaking long commute, and I'm like all up in that Audible.
Damn,
like,
you really tortoised that hair.
I was like, look at this. Look at all these credits I have. Buying audiobooks. Listen to an entire audiobook this week. Let's start at another one. I'm like, so glad I have this Audible subscription. Fool. Joke's on you.
Great job. Hey, if anybody knows of some really good Stitcher Premium podcasts to listen to besides Threedom, I'm trying to figure out if I need to keep this subscription or not.
You know what I was doing for a while when I was like really caught up on all my podcasts?
Really extra caught up.
I was listening to the Comedy Bang Bang backlog, like from the first episode, because you don't have access to them without Stitcher Premium.
I could listen to all
and
of
it was actually
Procreation.
Yes. Well, you can actually listen to those for free anyway. They made them for free after Harris Whittles died. Which is something I've almost said verbatim before on this show. Okay. I just had deja vu about that.
No, you definitely did say that.
Yeah.
Well...
So, I mean, Hannah sucks is what I'm getting at.
You definitely said that vibratum.
I don't know. I'm still not listening, so...
Hannah sucks! That's what we said.
I don't know. I'm still not listening. Fuck you.
So, okay. That's just more of a shout out to, like, generally everybody. Just, like, let me know if there's other stuff I should listen to.
All right.
I've heard most of Comedy Bang Bang, I think, already.
Yeah, you were definitely listening from very early on.
Yeah.
What I remember.
Yeah.
But I hadn't, and I really enjoyed some of the earlier ones.
Yeah, I should go check that out.
Although, it's like, they start in 2009, so, like, one of the episodes, they, like, the big news story is Michael Jackson dying. And it was, like, so it's a little dated whenever they talk about current events, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, funny. so I don't mind.
It's a snapshot of a time.
It's a snapshot.
We talk about current
This
events
is what I'm saying.
sometimes. That doesn't mean people don't like to listen to our older episodes.
That's right.
Oh, you're right.
Homework time?
Yeah.
Great segment, Ben. Sounds great. Okay.
Great segment, Ben.
Thanks.
Sounds like a show to watch, and a good one at that.
It's good.
My homework for our listeners is check out HYPERtheticals. You can get it on the
Stitcher
Amazon
Premium.
Prime, and it's a fun game. There's some questions, and you read them, and you talk about them. And if you get the right group together, it's a good time.
Sounds like a great game to play with friends and family.
Yeah. And also my Twitter is at Anthropology or Hannamorphs, either one, whichever one you like better. And then I also have another podcast.
Hannamorphs is so good.
I'm just thinking about it. I just don't have any connection to that show.
All right.
And and my other podcast is called So Dreamy, and it's a podcast about dreams, and we listen to dreams and read them and we talk about them. And we watched a movie, and that was fun.
Very cool.
Erin.
Hello, everybody. Well, my homework is to go to Netflix and watch Nanette by Hannah Gadsby. It's great. You won't regret it. You'll love it. It's great. You'll love it. You won't regret it. You can follow me on Twitter at EarnBurn. You can follow my Lesbian Movie Review account on Instagram. Lesbian Movie Reviews. That's all from me.
Ben.
Oh, okay. My homework is to watch Children of the Waltz on Netflix. And my Twitter is AnyDiscoGreg. And I also have a special request shout out. Kylie wants me to shout out an Instagram that she and I have really been enjoying. That's called Wolfie Smiles. Wolfie, WOLFIE _smiles. It's this gray cat who just has like big old fangs.
He's got like an underbite.
Yeah, and he looks so silly when he smiles, and he's so fucking cute. And also it looks like his owners have like really taken advantage of how popular the account has gotten and like do donation drives for local shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice place to look at.
I think they also post
kitty.
like photos of cats that they're fostering that are like adoptable.
Yeah. And apparently when they got Wolfie, no one wanted to adopt him because of his face.
Because he looks kind of like
cute.
He's growling or like he's angry.
Yeah, but it's
He's
just
a little vampire going on.
It's fucking hilarious though, because it's
Is
like
he-
every situation he just has the face.
Is he just always like that?
Yeah.
He must be a jewelry boy.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Oh, Wolfie.
If you want to tweet at the podcast, you can do that at TooBroadPod, TOO Broadpod.
No one's stopping you.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, I just started an Instagram. Surprise!
Yeah.
It's WayTooBroad is the Instagram handle. And we have one post right now, but I'm going to start posting up episodes there with like fun custom photos.
One post, but 3 pictures.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to include pictures of the things that we talk about so that...
I'll send you some. I'm going to send you some right now.
Send me the screenshots of your UNK.
Yep. This is great because I can just send them to you through frickin' Twitter.
Through
Instagram.
Yeah. And, and like, I don't know. Let us know what's cool to do on Instagram because I don't have any fucking clue. And then you can email us at WayTooBroad if you want to tell us about what's cool on Instagram or what we should DM President Barack Obama or what what's good on Stitcher Premium or whatever. And you could also join our Facebook group. And if you had fun with us today, leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd so appreciate it.
Hey, boy, would we.
Yep. So I think that's all I had to say. You guys have anything else to say?
No.
We love you.
We love you.
And
I hate you.
We're gonna see you next week.
Yeah, or you're gonna hear us next week.
You're gonna hear from us next week.
Podcast candle
See you next week.
is now extinguished.
Bye-bye.